Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Macy Marie. Hundreds of people packed the Triangle in downtown Hampshire today for a big back-to-school bash that was held. The event was put on by a church out of Georgia. WYMT's Connor James stopped by and talked with people there about what this means for the community.
It's now a 3-year tradition.
It just gets bigger every time.
Pamela Wallen is originally from this area. She and many from Faith Baptist Church in Georgia come up to the region to help those in the area. And as you can see by this line, it's needed.
You know, when the first trip we came, we thought we were going to bless all these people, and who got the blessing was us.
Now there's really something here for everybody, from the mounds of clothes you see behind me to these shoes on the ground. And the great thing is, if you need them, you can take them.
School supplies, hygiene stuff, there's a little bit of everything.
Anthony Vanover and his son Tristan are picking up stuff for when school starts. They're making a morning of it.
Oh yeah, it's fun. It's a little hot, but yeah, we're having fun.
Having fun while also being thankful.
We think this is a great blessing for Perry County to have people come in willing to help. There's a lot of people that are, having a hard time right now.
And volunteers just want to be there for these people.
We're in the background. He's in the forefront, and they're in the forefront, and that's the way it needs to be.
Helping during their time of need. In Perry County, Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
And the event lasted all morning and into the early afternoon. The group says if all goes as planned, they'll be back doing more mission work in the future. Teams from multiple states laced up their shoes for the basketball tournament in Lawrence County. The 4th annual Hoops for Hope tipped off this morning. Proceeds from the tournament go to help renovate Lockview Park near the Louisa swimming pool. Event organizer Matt Brown says this game brings players and their families together despite all their differences.
You know, no matter what race, no matter what nationality or what they believe or anything like that, people come together and enjoy this game together.
This tournament is hosted by Rise Above, a nonprofit organization, and if you missed today's game, well, don't worry. The tournament continues tomorrow at the Louisa Park near the city pool.
Definitely a warm day for a little basketball, and it's going to be another warm one tomorrow, and we may even see a few more showers than what we did today. We're tracking a few right now on Pinpoint Doppler. Most of the action is south of the Kentucky-Tennessee border, like it's been for most of the afternoon and evening, and those showers are continuing to be fueled by the moisture actually coming off Tropical Storm Barry, but they should die down a little bit now that we're rolling through the overnight hours. Temperatures into the mid to upper 70s right now. Call it 78 London, Jackson, Hazard, 74 Peaburg, 72 Wise, 76 in Middlesboro. And the dew points once again running into the low 70s across most of the area. That is tropical air. Very, very humid air out there that will lead to some dense fog for your Sunday morning commute, and it may not even clear out in time for some of those early Sunday morning services. We'll see the temperatures bottom out in the upper 60s and lower 70s. Watch out for that dense fog in the morning, and then tomorrow afternoon shower chances will ramp up to about 20%. And as always, you can get that latest forecast on the WYMT weather app. The big story in the weather world, though, Tropical Storm Barry, it is going to play an impact on our weather. We'll talk about how that'll happen here in a few minutes. All
right, thank you, Shane. Over in western Kentucky, an 8-year-old was killed during a hit and run. It happened in Hardinsburg, and police say the driver, this man, Bradley Mattingly, was caught less than 15 minutes after leaving the scene. Police charged him with reckless homicide and leaving the scene of an accident. A Lexington organization says they're prepared for any fallout from the immigration raids. The Community Response Coalition helps families of people who have been arrested or deported. The social work organization says they're always ready to help families left behind. Since launching last year, the program's director says they've already helped a number of families.
Emergency response is our average day. So we're cautiously optimistic that the raids will hopefully not reach us right away, but we don't know, and we're set up for the eventuality that it might be. We have our volunteers ready to go, phone activated, all the materials we need, and we can help.
Lexington is not expected to be one of the cities targeted in the raids. However, in other parts of the country, dozens of loud and angry protests over President Trump's decision to start immigration raids tomorrow. The sweeps are expected to target about 2,000 people who a judge has already ordered to be deported. Carter Evans is in Los Angeles with more.
I'm here because President Trump has said ICE will attack thousands of families separating children from parents.
Passionate protesters today in Chicago joined those in cities around the nation. ICE has got to go! Fighting back against planned deportation raids set to begin Sunday. In Oakland, California, Naomi Islas is worried her family could be targeted.
Maybe one day I'll go home and my parents aren't going to be there.
Throughout the country, undocumented immigrants like Gerson Quinteros are on edge.
I feel like scared every day. I don't know what to do, but I know that with my community, I'm in strength.
They came in illegally. They have to go out.
The president confirmed Friday ICE agents will be focusing on immigrants with removal orders in at least 10 cities.
They're going to take people out and they're going to bring them back to their countries, or they're going to take criminals out, put them in prison, or put them in prison in the countries they came from.
While large-scale deportation actions are not uncommon, most don't receive this kind of publicity. And this one is getting pushback from cities with large immigration populations like San Francisco.
Everyone is guaranteed certain rights under the Constitution, whether they are in this country illegally or not.
In Los Angeles, Sheriff Alex Villanueva has advice for immigrant families.
Keep your doors shut and ask for a search warrant. And if they don't have it, well, then don't open the door.
Officials in Los Angeles estimate there could be up to 1 million undocumented immigrants in this county alone. And authorities here have said they will not help federal agents with any immigration arrests. Carter Evans, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And in political news, U.S. Senator Cory Booker from New Jersey swung through New Hampshire today, one of a half-dozen Democratic presidential hopefuls crossing the Granite State this weekend. In Manchester, Booker joined incumbent Mayor Joyce Craig to help rally supporters and canvass the city in support of Craig's re-election campaign.
I am running because I believe in us. I believe that we, at this point in our nation's history, cannot fall into the trap of defining ourselves by what we're against.
And in Exeter, New Hampshire, Booker told a group of supporters that he's learning from his Democratic opponents and hopeful that Americans will define themselves not by what they are against, but what they are for. R. Kelly will spend at least this weekend in jail, if not more, after being hit with a charge. The singer was arrested in Chicago this week while walking his dog and now faces more than a dozen additional charges, including child pornography. Kelly will not be arraigned until Tuesday in Chicago. A spokesperson from the Eastern District says Kelly will likely be extradited to New York in the next 2 weeks to face charges. Kelly maintains he is innocent. A federal judge on Friday ruled that e-cigarette companies must apply to the Food and Drug Administration for a public health review within 10 months. The FDA has to impose the May 2020 deadline following a previous decision by the judge in a lawsuit filed by health groups, including the American Academy of Pediatrics. Back in 2017, the agency allowed e-cigarettes to stay on the market until 2022 before companies apply for authorization. Products were also permitted to remain on the market indefinitely during review. Police in Florida are looking for the person caught on camera attacking a senior citizen over a private parking spot. The owner of the Shoreview condo hotel says a man in a red shirt parked in a private spot, and when he was asked to move, he said he wouldn't, and then he started smoking.
Smoking a joint, and he told me that because I was so nice to him, he would go ahead and leave, but after he finished his joint. So I told him, you can't smoke because I got a hotel full of people and kids here. The smell is everywhere. You can't do that.
Well, then the man attacked, punching the older gentleman and leaving him bruised, as you can see on the camera there. Newly released surveillance video shows a massive explosion that destroyed a KFC in North Carolina. The brick sides of the building collapsed. A window was thrown about 100 feet, and luckily no one was hurt. And an employee told police that he was closing the restaurant when he and other employees started to smell gas. The manager reportedly tried to turn off the nozzle and called the gas company. In New York, a large power outage has been reported throughout Midtown and Upper Manhattan. There are no working streetlights in those affected sections of the city. A manhole fire reportedly impacted a transmission line, causing those outages. And the power outage happened around 7 o'clock tonight. More than 40,000 people were in the dark at the height of the outage. And now on to a terror attack that's killed dozens in Somalia, including at least one American. Islamic terrorists attacked a popular hotel in a port town just as Somalia is getting set for its national elections. Deborah Pata reports.
This was the deadliest attack in the port city of Kismayo since the militant Al-Shabaab group was forced out 7 years ago. It unfolded in typical Al-Shabaab style as a suicide bomber rammed a car laden with explosives into a hotel. Gunmen then stormed the building. The siege lasted well over 12 hours. Amongst the dead, at least one American, a Canadian journalist, and a prominent local presidential candidate. 4 of the gunmen were also killed. The hotel was a popular haunt of politicians and lawmakers. The scene afterwards told a story of panic and horror. A hotel pockmarked with bullets, abandoned luggage, blood-stained notes, and items of clothing lost in the chaos. The rest of the country has borne the brunt of Al-Shabaab's violence, the worst in recent history being the October 2017 bombing in the capital of Mogadishu, which killed over 500 people. Kismayo has been relatively peaceful by comparison, a peace that has now been shattered with yesterday's bloodshed. The Al-Qaeda-linked Al-Shabaab continues to spread across Somalia. In response, the US has intensified its battle against them, despite President Trump's decision to scale back operations against other Islamic insurgencies in places like Afghanistan and Syria. Last year saw nearly 50 airstrikes against Al-Shabaab and already over 25 in the first few months of this year. Deborah Patter, CBS News, London.
And in Hong Kong, police used pepper spray on protesters gathered near the Special Administration region's border with China on Saturday afternoon. This marks the start of another series of weekend demonstrations in Hong Kong, and demonstrators have pledged to take the movement into districts further afield, including towns close to mainland China. And still to come on Mountain News Weekend Edition. Very hit today, and we'll show